I hope by now you got fair understanding of the complete PI planning process. It is always recommended to attend some of the scaled agile training to understand how this whole PI planning process works. But before we close this series, I want to talk about how different roles may play differently in a PI planning meeting. I am picking up some roles. I don't say that I am covering everything, but yes, it gives you some idea. Since you know the agenda, you know the whole process, now let's start looking from the view of a role and the PI planning meeting. So we start with a first role called release train engineer. Now release train engineer, as you understand, is a facilitator at an agile release train level. The release train engineer is expected to ensure that team understand what they are doing, they get the whole system view, and he is the big facilitator for a PI planning meeting. So bringing the whole agenda together, ensuring that this 100+ people team does not end up becoming a chaotic meeting, giving a structure to the meeting, providing understanding of the overall agenda, making people agree to a ground rules if needed, focusing on reminders and time boxes, and explaining the whole process of doing PI planning meeting is a release train engineer's responsibility. So if I group all these things under a one tag, facilitation. So release train engineer is the facilitator of the PI planning meeting. Now more than facilitation, he is also responsible for ensuring that teams are coming up with an integrated plan. So whatever quality is coming from each team, how that plan fits well at a PI level, at a complete release train level, is also facilitated by release train engineer. So integration of different teams PI objective and helping teams coming up with the overall PI objective, as well as coming up with an integrated program board, is something is a release train engineer's responsibility. He might not be doing it alone. The release train engineer works with Scrum Masters when it is needed in order to come up with the integrated program board. He works with the Scrum Master to ensure that each team breakout room results into a proper understanding of dependencies and the PI level objective from each team. So second thing is coming up with an integrated agile release train plan. The third thing is facilitating various conversations. Conversations like management review and problem solving. When we have issues related to demand and capacity, conversation could be where business owner finds that these PI objectives are not serving the business purpose and they have a reservation about it. Teams are facing their own challenges. So whenever there are conversational issues during the PI planning meeting, the release train engineer is expected to resolve that. You can put it as a part of facilitation responsibility of release train engineer as well. The another thing which release train engineer is expected to do is ensuring the artifact and future follow-ups. So things which are getting planned, creating some digital artifact, putting them into a particular tool so that everybody understands and review it, whatever they have planned. The release train engineer usually take a lead with the help of Scrum Master to digitizing the artifact and coming up with the final results for the PI planning. The release train engineer definitely conducts the retrospective, which is expected to help the release train engineer as well as the whole agile release train to come up with a better PI planning meeting going forward. Conducting various facilitated events like risk reviews, confidence vote is something which is overall responsibility of handling the facilitation. So in general, I can just use a one word. The release train engineer is the facilitator of the PI planning meeting, and he ensures that at the end of a PI planning meeting, the agile release train get a clear, committed PI objectives. Now let's look into other roles. So done with release train engineer, product manager. So product manager plays a key role in communicating the business priorities with the help of features. So you may have business executives coming in and they are giving a big picture, as we understand, but after that the product manager talks about the features, and when the different teams are doing their breakout sessions and the product owners of different teams are working with their teams creating user stories, product manager may ensure by way of running some Scrum of Scrum with the various product owners. So, to have a clear understanding of how overall features will get implemented as an agile release train. So, there could be a dependency, there could be a boundary conditions. So, clarifying the features and the business things to the different agile team is a product manager's responsibility inside the PI planning meeting. The product manager is supported by the product owner. So, product manager and product owner team might work collaboratively to communicate the business priorities to the team. Now, the another role of a product management is working with the business owners continuously during the PI planning meeting. The product manager should understand the perspective of business owners. Product manager must be working with these business owners already, but there could be some clarification based on the queries raised, and the product manager should be able to capture those conversations, may require some change in the features based on those conversations. So, understanding the business conversation during the PI planning meeting and working closely with the business owner is the another responsibility of product manager. While the management review and problem solving is happening, the decision related to features are getting made, the product manager plays a role because he helps in making business owners as well as the development teams, agile teams understand what was the perspective behind those features. So, these teams can take the informed decision. Now, unlike the Scrum way of working, we have a product manager or a product owner who takes some decisions, who decide the final priority of a backlog, and who decides this is what is going and this is what is not going. In case of SAFe, the product manager is not making such decisions in the PI planning meeting. He is basically facilitating the conversation, and we do not have any one role who takes the decision. The decisions in a PI planning meeting is more taken in the collaboration. So, there is a discussion between product management and business owners related to requirement, related to the feature, related to the business context, which helps us in knowing the right priorities and taking the decisions, and that is the role product manager will play. Business owners. So, business owners are key stakeholders who are part of the business. Yeah, they are running day-to-day work, and they may not 100% allocate it to agile release train, and that is why they add value, because they are in touch with the real end users, real stakeholders who are going to make or use our products or services to make benefit for them. So, business owners plays a critical role by giving us the business context, whereas we have a product managers, product owners who are converting these things into features and stories and working with us, but business owners helps us in aligning those things to a business requirement. They actively participate in a PI planning meeting. They work with teams in a breakout sessions to help the teams understand what is valued more, what is valued less, and why. They do it by way of even assigning business values to the PI objectives. Yeah. So, this is the role of a business owner, which usually happen in the second breakout session in the PI planning meeting. So, work closely, participate in a management review and problem solving, and finally, they are the one who accepts the PI plan. Yeah. If they do not find the whole PI plan coming together adding value to the business objective, they can flag that issue and work with the team till the time we reach to a stage where we have a plan which adds business value to the organization. So, critical role to ensure alignment, to provide business context, to provide clarity, reasoning, and ultimately ensuring that all of us are solving some business problems together. Now, system architect role, you might have seen that system architect might play an initial role to give the architectural view. Now, once the architectural views and other development guidance and other details are given to the team, teams are working in their breakout rooms. So, they are working with the teams to come up with an architectural approach, working with the teams to identify some of the explorations and enabler if they are needed in our PI is the role of a system architect. System architect helps us in evolving the system architecture for a particular product and solution by working with the teams. He is not the one who is just giving a diagram and telling you just follow this diagram. The system architect is a guide, mentor, the system architect is expected to develop the teams so that they can find out right architecture for them. So, ensuring the teams are not taking shortcuts, yeah, so by way of guiding them in their breakout rooms, helping the teams to see the technological aspects in an integrated way. So, the system architect may also conduct many scrum of scrum or may visit teams in rotations when the teams are doing breakout room sessions to understand how architecturally, how technologically they are planning their work. The system architect may also focus on the aspects related to integration and integrated validations and verification of the product by way of having and kind of common understanding of definition of done, ensuring that our definition of done is improving over a period of time, and he need to like work with the different breakout rooms while the PI planning meeting is happening to ensure that we are planning those integrated approaches, integration concerns, as well as looking at definition of done when we are planning our work. So, ensuring the technical focus while we are doing a PI planning meeting and also planning those exploratory work which helps us in coming up with a better technological foundation for our solution, system architect. Now, finally, I am talking about 3 team roles: product owners, scrum masters and team. So, this is like each team will have it, agile team will have it, and now you understand that previously I spoke about release train engineer, product management, system architect and business owners. They are the one who are helping us at a overall integrated level, and these 3 roles are doing the groundwork. Yeah, that's the primary thing. The major groundwork is done by the team, and then product owner and scrum master are helping us in ensuring the team is doing the groundwork which is ultimately integrating with the big picture. Yeah. So, a scrum master facilitates, helps the release train engineer in facilitation. The scrum master is expected to facilitate in most of the time. Again, you can have a team member also doing that, but in most of the time scrum master end up facilitating various teams breakout sessions. Scrum master may participate in a scrum of scrum meetings which might get conducted by release train engineer along with breakout sessions, or there is a possibility scrum masters might be moving between different teams to work out dependencies, resolve issues while the teams are doing breakout session, so that we don't have when we see a presentation we don't have many gaps. So, scrum master might be facilitating those integrated approaches as well. Scrum master should ensure at a team level when the teams are planning, they are not over committing, they are taking care of quality concerns, they go with a fair amount of planning and exploration, not doing too much, not doing too less while the team breakout rooms are happening. So, that is the responsibility of scrum master in during that particular things, breakout rooms. And later on integrating the work with the release train engineer at a program board level, coming up with a consolidated PI and agile release train objective, facilitating that is a scrum master job, may participate in a management review and problem solving as well. Product owner, key role to make the teams understand the business context at a user story level, at a detail level. Product owners, since they have been working with product management for a while, for a feature, they understand the bigger aspects in a little more than the development teams. So, they are expected to communicate that on a regular basis. During the team breakout room, they clarify the user stories, they may help the teams to understand the aspects of user stories, they may create user stories, they may help in even understanding dependencies which are focusing on the business part of the user story. So, representing the business during the team breakout rooms. The product owners may also help the team to come up with PI objectives which are business oriented. So, coming up with understanding the outcome and facilitating writing the PI objective for each team is also something which a product owner is expected to help you with. Participate in various breakout rooms, closely work with the business owners when they are assigning business values to a team level PI objectives. So, understanding the way product management was understanding the business owners perspective all the time, especially which is the things which are related to my team or a particular agile team which product owner belongs to, they may participate and understand various aspects clearly. They play a critical role also in risk reviews by way of talking about requirement related risk and dependency related risk in the whole agile release train. Team members primarily get the things done in a breakout session, understand the user stories, estimates them, work on dependencies, expose the issue as soon as they discover, take the interest in the whole agile release train work rather than only focusing on their own work, think as a whole system so that we have a system level plan rather than isolating their thinking only at a team level. But primarily speaking, they are the one who does the breakout rooms, and as we learned in the activities which we do in a breakout room majorly done by the team members. Yeah. So, planning, replanning, adjusting, talking about risk, exposing issues is something which is done by the team members of different agile teams. So, these 7 videos helps you in getting started with PI planning meeting. You can visit the scaledagileFramework.com, the official website of Scaled Agile Framework to get more details on PI planning. You can definitely explore our trainings on Scaled Agile Framework. We do various roles based training on Scaled Agile Framework.